We're back, dude. We're here. Welcome to the Hella Dank podcast, guys. This is episode 35, I think 34, 35. We have the mayor of Corvallis himself, Charles Maughan, in the building. What's up, dude?
Welcome.
It's been a bit.
It's been about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. It's I think it's been a year, and it was before I think Maddie was running things. You know, it was just us doing it. I can't remember if it was or not, but
I think I was on it.
I think you
were you
Yeah,
on
I
it?
was- I think I was
Okay,
there.
honestly, there's
when
been
you
so
said that earlier, I was like, "Am I misremembering things?"
maybe
Yeah,
I
losing
think
it.
probably I am. Sorry about that. No, it's been great, man. We were just talking about how much has been happening in the community.
A lot.
Yeah. You know, you were just you were going door to door talking to people about who it was again.
Oh, John Wilson running for Benton County Commissioner.
All right, so we like John, right?
We like John.
That's cool.
John's good people.
That's good. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. But yeah, man, what's been going on since last time? You know, like last time you were here, you were about 2 years in roughly as mayor, and you know, you went over what was going on. But man, I feel like since then, the community's just been booming. So
Yeah, it was interesting when I was here last because my first year as mayor, I was really just kind of learning like what's it like being mayor because it was more overwhelming than I expected. And I think I talked about that at the last one. So I was really finding my groove by the time we talked a year ago, and so now I'm into my fourth year.
right.
And, it's wild, I tell you. It's a challenge to work a full-time job on top of being a full-time mayor.
Yeah,
I
they need
w-
to pay you more.
I wish it was just one thing, but there was a lot of pressure towards the end of last year, like whether or not are you running for reelection? Are you running for reelection? And I did a lot of soul searching, trying to figure out what's best for my family, what's best for me, and then ultimately ended up what's best for the city. So yes, I am running for reelection.
You are running again
this November. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Vote for him. That's awesome, man. That's great.
But yeah, I said, I've always had a focus on housing, housing of all types, but really felt affordable housing then was the most important. And I think even last year, we were already making a lot of progress on that. But now it's just, we have more housing going into Corvallis of all types
Right.
than ever before.
And you
Ever.
see it like
Yeah,
everywhere I drive in town, Northtown here, like I'm happy to see Southtown becoming what it is.
Yeah.
Like when I first moved down here, like not there was anything wrong with it, there just wasn't a lot for housing per se. And seeing like these new apartments over here, and then what's going on at the old auction yard, like it's just amazing to see that.
Yeah, old auction yard. That's I think 160 units of affordable housing and a lot of one bedrooms, which Corvallis is really short.
Oh,
on.
huh?
So that's very cool.
No shit. When is that expected to be done?
I'm not 100% sure, but I believe early next year.
It seems like they're going to be done pretty quick.
Yeah, I think early, either the fall of this year or early next year.
Wow, man, yeah. And then go ahead.
I was gonna say, and right across the road here, we have that 174 units of affordable housing.
Right.
They just submitted an application to build, I think, another 120 units just down the street.
Like past BNR or
No, just on Wake Robin, just straight down.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
So
That's good.
There's
That's
all
good.
that old industrial land, over there.
Right.
So they've bought all that, and they're going to develop that.
That's
to
awesome, dude.
expand because they've had such a good experience working with the city of Corvallis and seeing the need here. So they're happy to build even more affordable housing.
Right. No, that's great. So what is the criteria? Like, let's say, you know, not to get off the beaten trail here, but to meet the affordable housing criteria, what is that?
I mean, it really depends what you're talking about. So we don't fund it 100%. Let's just use over on Wake Robin as an example. They went after federal funds, low income housing tax credits, and they have their own set of criteria that you have to meet. And then there's state criteria that gets added on around length of affordability. What's your AMI? AMI stands for area median income, and they have to choose: is it going to be 100% at 60% AMI or lower? Or is it going to be set at 50% AMI or lower? And so they went with 60% over there. But then the city of Corvallis worked with them to have some set asides because we were giving them some construction excise tax dollars and giving them an additional tax break. And so through that negotiation, one, we extended the affordability to 60 years, which the standard is 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's like amazing. But
That's
then on top of
incredible.
that, had them put a few units set aside at 30% AMI, so extremely low income. So the most vulnerable in our community can get housing.
That's good. What is what do you guys define as super low income? Like what's that?
30%. That's that's like if you're just on standard Social Security, you
Okay.
haven't not retirement Social Security, but like the low end Social Security,
Right.
where you're getting like maybe $700 a month.
Okay.
That's
Damn.
low.
No,
That is
that's
really low.
yeah, that
Yeah.
is okay.
And then the rents get tied into that, so you have to meet that income threshold or be below that income threshold, and then the rents are set at that 30% level.
Okay. That's good. That's awesome to hear, man, because we need that. And the homeless obviously that's a different topic, but it seems like it's not getting worse. But it's good to see off ramps for some people that are actually trying to get even if it is that one bedroom apartment. 700 a month, I feel like you could pull that together with some can money or something.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm just being stupid.
Yeah.
But
But I
no,
mean, but that I would say your comment about the unhoused situation not getting worse. I mean, it is. The
it
thing is, it
is.
doesn't seem like it because we're doing a lot of things to try to address that. The county's trying to address it. The county just got granted to be the regional coordinator for our area for the state. There's additional funding they're going to get for that. So there's a lot of people trying to address the issue, which is making it where we're navigating people into permanent housing, but it's not enough. So that's why there's still unhoused people, even though it looks like it's not getting any worse. It is because the numbers haven't changed,
Oh,
even though we're doing a ton of work to address it.
gotcha. I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of part of like the motel that got demolished down here. That's supposed to be part of that, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be 40 something units of permanent supportive housing, and that's really important because we don't have that in Corvallis. We don't have. I mean, most of the state doesn't have that.
What is that?
So that's not just housing; it's housing with services. So there's going to be direct services to keep people stably housed. Because if you take somebody who's lived for the last 30 years on the streets and stick them in an apartment, they're going to fail.
That's hard.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't know how to live with other people in that kind of community in closed doors. They're just not used to it. How do you live completely different life?
Right.
So with permanent supportive housing, you don't just provide the housing. You have counselors. You have mental health services. You have maybe drug addiction services. Whatever a person needs to stabilize them, help them transition from that point of chronically homeless to stably housed. And the goal, in my mind at least, is to eventually just move on to normal stable housing
Right.
after you have, and then with continued services hopefully, but that permanent supportive housing right over there on 3rd Street just down the road, that's going to be unique, and it has some unique funding going with it.
That's awesome to hear, because sometimes like I'll hear stuff like affordable housing and stuff, which it is great. It's but I do think sometimes like, what about the dude who's been living under the bridge for 20 years that
Right.
has an addiction problem and probably doesn't understand how to function in society? How do you take care of that guy?
Yeah, and that's
So
always been Corvallis housing first model, right? Is housing first before worrying about addiction or criminal
you can't
history or
approach it
whatever.
all at once,
Right.
right?
So that's what they're the people who are developing that permanent supportive housing with state funding, and again, just to provide those services that you can't get anywhere else, and not have to go get those services. They're going to be right where you live.
Right. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. You don't hear about a lot of facilities. I mean, I'm sure they are out there, but it's just around here. Like, I don't know if maybe Albany has that. It should be more prevalent than it is currently.
Yeah, unfortunately, we
Especially
actually
if
don't
the
have much of it around here at all.
right, and if the problem is growing, like you're saying, then it's like I would like to see my money go to something like that. That's
Mhm.
more like there's an action being taken versus, oh, I'm going to donate money to a charity, and then all of a sudden the owner of the charity has a brand new Maserati. There's
Yes.
stuff like that. I'm like, I don't want to. I don't trust that shit. But if I actually see something like that, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and thinking about what's creating our unhoused population, you think of stress, you think of life difficulties. I think of simple things too. I just had to put gas in my Jeep.
Oh my
I don't
God.
have a very large gas tank, but it was $75.
Yeah,
I'm
Doug.
like, how can people? I mean, I have a decent job, but some people, how are you going to afford that?
Exactly.
How,
Yeah.
how do you buy
And
groceries after spending $75 just to put gas in your car?
right. Yeah, no, I feel you. I have an 18-gallon tank on my rig, and before the price hike that we've been seeing the past month, it was like $60 to fill my tank, and yeah, it's over 78 now, something like that. It's ridiculous.
Well, I'm
And
fortunate. I work from home, so I don't drive that much, and my other car's an EV. So
yeah, no, I I just drive to Tangent to work, but I also do other I like to, I storm chase, I drive around, I
Yeah, I've
do
watched
other
your
shit,
videos.
and, thank you, but it's like, God, I can't even I really have to think about where I'm driving because how expensive it is,
Hmm.
and then, to expand from that is, like, you gotta think, not only is gas getting expensive, but that's gonna drive the prices of goods up because you gotta
Yes.
pay the truckers and the trains and the farm equipment, it all is building up because they gotta pay $6 a gallon for diesel. It's incredible, in a bad way. It's
Yeah.
just like, yeah.
And
So the
that actually ties back into why housing's so important, because how many people are living in Albany or Lebanon or Sweet Home or wherever and driving into Corvallis for work
right,
when they could just live here and take the bus and
right.
save money.
That is nice. I do like the Corvallis transit system in that regard because I really didn't think about that until you just mentioned it. That could actually really help. I should actually just take that for like little shit, but yeah,
It's
it,
fareless. You just get on and go.
right, yeah, just where you got to go, know where to get off.
That's it.
That's great, man. Is the Benton County Crisis Center, is that part of this or what is that? Is that
So that's a county building. County built it with state funding, and they've actually run into some problems. So their plan was to phase in the services provided, and they started with just some daytime light services for if you're having a mental health crisis, and they were supposed to expand to 24-hour services, and then even the respite beds for people who needed a place to live for a
just a
couple
night
for
or
a night
something?
or a couple of days, and it was supposed to grow and expand services. Um, Obviously, federal budget cuts have destroyed
Oh my god.
everything, so they have no money to grow
Oh
their
no.
services. So they're still open. They're trying to expand to 7 days a week, which is challenging. Um, the other thing is trying to hire people. There's not much education for those kind of jobs.
Yeah, that's a very difficult area to work in,
Yeah, so they're trying to hire from the same pool as everybody else.
Right.
So they're running into a lot of challenges. I meet with a couple of the county commissioners regularly to find out what's going on, and that was the last update. They're struggling with funding. They're always going in for grants into the funding, but nothing that's long term funding, which was what was originally promised when they built the crisis center.
Gotcha. Yeah. Shelby's dad has been he's retired, so he's volunteered to help those guys. And he was talking about how they have they have to reschedule him sometimes because there's so little people that they're like, we can't just have one guy here.
Yeah,
Like it's
not
just
safe.
very
That's the word.
challenging even for him, where he's like, I wanna like either he has to go like late at night, I think, which is like, if you're retired, I want to be in bed by 10 o'clock or whatever. They want people at like 8:30 or 9, which is like, some people can do that, but it's like they have I don't know. It's just it's complicated to deal with, is my understanding from it. Especially just as a volunteer. I
Hmm.
don't even know like if you got paid for that, like what that would entail. Like part-time probably.
Probably.
Who knows how much you get paid. Yeah. And those jobs, like I feel like it's so like not underappreciated, but like it almost seems like no one wants to do it sometimes. It's a difficult thing to deal with, the unhoused and people with addiction. Like you got to have a very kind heart. And
Well, especially for coming from governments. Corvallis is our local government. The county's the surrounding government, if you want to look at it that way. Every municipality and every government agency is struggling financially. The state just saw massive budget cuts to their next budget session. The county has a shortfall. City of Corvallis is for our next biennium, which is a 2-year budget. We're looking at $8.1 million shy of what we need.
damn.
So we're like, at some point we either raise fees, find ways to raise taxes, find some other source of revenue, which was what would be nice, or start cutting services.
Right.
So the county has the same struggle, the state has the same struggle, and there's no long term solution.
God, yeah, that sucks. And with the amount of money the feds spend on just ridiculous shit.
War.
Yeah, I don't yeah, exactly. Like, my gosh, it's like you just take a few of those missiles, sell them, and take that money to help our city, whatever. It's
If
just
they if
like,
they if they cut the military budget in half, they could house every single person in this country.
oh my gosh, I don't even know if it
Everybody.
has to be in half.
Well, I mean,
Like,
I was just throwing a number out. Yeah, not even
right.
half to fix one
Yeah.
problem. You do it by half, you could fix 2, 3, 4 problems in this country for everybody, everywhere.
Right. And now they want to increase the military budget by what, like a trillion or
Some
some
insane
shit
amount.
like that. And I'm like, aren't we in deficit of 20 something trillion? Like, how could you ask for that much money?
But isn't
Like,
it interesting when you want anything that helps people, like say healthcare for everyone? Well, how are you going to pay for it? That's the answer all the time, right? How are you gonna pay
How are
for
you
it?
gonna pay
It's like,
for it?
but we could just go to war and spend billions of dollars a day.
Right. Yeah, and it's
Our
like,
our country's messed up.
I love space, and I love what Artemis did, and I will support space. I'm a huge supporter of that, but it's also like, there's that money too, and it's just
But
like
at least that's for science,
that's some real
that's
shit.
for something, not
Right.
destruction.
It's not killing just innocent people,
Right.
and yeah, that's a whole other topic of discussion. But
Yeah, I was a huge space nerd as a kid. I love
yeah,
space exploration.
I'm very happy, and shout out to Artemis for you guys making a safe return. That was really cool. It's just incredible to see that shit happening in
Mhm.
our lifetime. But yeah, man, it's getting real, and I feel like with the yeah, like gas going up, and like you said, it's for these unhoused people, like it's already difficult for some of them to integrate back into society, but it's probably even harder now when they walk by the sign that says $5 a gallon for gas, or I don't
I bought
know.
2 bags of groceries the other day. 2 regular sized bags of groceries, $100.
It's
I'm like,
yeah. How do you
what did
do
I
that?
buy?
Yeah.
I
Did I
bought
buy a gold brick,
bread,
dude?
you know,
Yeah, no.
coffee. Okay.
Well, that's great though. That I mean, I always love Corvallis. Like, just it seems like you guys try your best, like with what you're given with, and seeing the housing build up. Like it's just incredible to at least that someone is trying.
Yeah.
There's other communities. It's probably because they can't afford it, but it seems like they don't give a shit, and some of them probably don't, but yeah. What else has been besides the housing? What else has been popping off in local politics?
Oh man, there's a list. Well, let's jump back because I think we were lightly talking about it last time. The city ended up having a lawsuit regarding the language in our charter
Right.
because
Okay.
it turned out a judge says some of our language in our charter was unconstitutional.
Yeah, this is part of the reason why well, also I love to see your pretty face, but also like you were nice enough to actually sorry to go on it, but to be part of that task force that
Yeah.
addressed this issue you're going to discuss. Yeah.
Yeah. So after the lawsuit, I started thinking, well, what else is wrong with our charter? So for those listening, if you don't know, charter is voted on by the people. A regular citizen could draft charter language and get signatures to get on the ballot and make changes.
I have a copy right here.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
So some of our language in our charter, and I should have brought it. One of my counselors did a lot of research. It goes back to 1934.
Mhm.
So we have old language in our charter. And so that's one of the things judge saw and said, this is unconstitutional based, so what else is wrong? And that's why I encouraged council to start a charter review task force. We're doing it in 3 phases. You were on phase 1,
Phase
which
1.
was a lot of the interesting work to read through the whole charter and identify
Yeah.
the problems.
Yeah.
And now that's going to ballot. So it'll be on this May's ballot will be the
Yes.
changes that we worked on together.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I'm now serving on the PAC too, so we're trying to raise money. And if you search "Good Governance Corvallis," there's a website has a lot of information. I encourage everybody to look into it.
Check it out.
Yeah, and now I'm on phase 2 of the task force, and we're looking at some of the harder stuff like how many wards we have, which means how many city councilors do we have? What's the term length of those council?
We have 8, right? Or 9?
9.
9, right? Okay.
And so there was a suggestion to go to 7. Council didn't like that, so we came back with a drastic change where it'd be 3 wards with 2 councilors each rotating.
Oh shit.
They don't like that. So we're back to the drawing board again.
Yeah.
Trying to find what the council will support, then hopefully the voters support, because just the data shows 9 councilors creates challenges in getting things done. It's not the most productive side.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
So we're trying to reduce the number of councilors, not to reduce that representation, but just to be more functional.
Right.
So we're not trying to go down to no councilors or 2 councilors. We just want to reduce it a little bit. So hopefully we're going to end up with 6 or 7 councilors, which is manageable. But we want to also extend their terms to 4 years, because 2-year terms, you're barely learning how to be a counselor, and it's time to run for election again.
And I agree with that. Just as a citizen, I feel like that makes sense.
I used to be against 4-year terms back when I was a counselor, because the idea of trying to serve that long while you have a job, I wanted more diverse representation on council. But once we started looking at the numbers and looking at other cities, it doesn't affect that. So switching to 4-year terms will just create stability for the city, and having a representative that's the same person for a little bit longer, because it takes your first year just to learn what you're
Just to
doing,
figure out what's
just to
going
figure it
on.
out.
Like, I mean, obviously this is different, but when you asked me to be part of the task force, the first one, the first 2 meetings, I didn't say shit because I didn't know,
didn't.
like, I didn't know what was going on. But I listened, and once I started to understand, like, just like that small thing, I was like, I was trying to engage more, and but it was just a lot of information where I'm like, if you were just a farmer or whoever decided to become a city councilor. Yeah, it's a lot to learn real fast.
Well, and it's funny because I had people actually ask me like, "What? Who's this person? Why do you have him on your task force?" And I was like, "He's a member of our community, and he's not politically engaged. You're not involved in local politics. You haven't served on advisory boards. You were the perfect person to have there. Just a regular voter in our city who lives and works here. It's like, well, sort of works here.
Yeah, it was really funny when you called me that day and asked me. I was on my lunch break at work, and you called me. I'm like, "Oh, Charles, call me at noon." Like, damn. And you're like, "Hey, I'm putting together this task force to review the city charter. Do you want to be part of it?" And I'm like, "Oh, I might need to think about that. Like, maybe I don't know what I'm doing." You're like, "I need to know in 5 minutes." And I'm just like,
I don't think it was 5
it
minutes, but it was
was
pretty short.
it was
notice.
short. It was a short notice, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'll do it. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna know like anything, but sure, I'll figure it out. And yeah, I learned a lot being part of that, and it gave me a new respect for what you guys do,
Mhm.
and just how important it is. Um, what is the pushback against adjusting the amount of counselors and the term limits? Is there any or
Yes.
it's
So looking back historically, there's been like 5 or 6 times they've tried to move from a 2 year term to 4 year, and
Mm,
it's failed every time.
really?
Yeah,
Damn.
and that's
Well,
weird.
it makes sense, but yeah.
But I don't understand. I don't understand. I understand why it went to 2 year terms, and that was about control. Because if you don't like your elected official, you can get rid of them in a year and a
They'll
half or
be out
whatever.
ASAP, yeah.
But I think what people don't realize is you're also losing institutional knowledge. You're losing somebody who can learn the job and understand the issues and really represent you. If you're changing a counselor every 2 years, or even possibly changing a counselor every 2 years, are they really you really having that representation you're looking for? And I don't think so. I think you're losing out on something. Luckily, most people serve more than 1 term, which is 2 years right now. But you're also looking at somebody who they just figured out how to be a counselor. That they've served a year, and it's already time to run for reelection.
Yeah,
So, are you really focused on the needs of the city and your community, or are you focused on I've got to run for reelection again?
right. So why do people have an issue with that though?
I can't answer
That's
that.
just I just feel like that like it's just so common sense that like I hear that and I'm like, yeah, like you should have a grace period of like you have a year to learn and then yeah, maybe the post year you if you want to run again you can, but I feel like the heart of that term is you focus on getting shit done.
Right.
And
And you run on issues that you want to fix or you want to get done. And so if you're in a 2 year term, you're just figuring it out and then you're trying to push really hard in a short period of time to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And that's also challenging when we have a strategic plan with the city that's a 5 year plan. So if it's a different counselor every 2 years, how are you going to focus on that long term agenda?
right,
And the long term agenda is to improve the city.
right. Yeah, and some people, like, I mean, this is a way bigger thing, but some people question the term of the presidency. It's like, is it too short? Like, should it be 8 years? And but then it's like, I don't know. I mean, the way things are going now, you see how much happens in just the first year of whoever
It
it
feels like
is.
it's been forever. And
It feels like
you're
it's
like, what? It's
what
only been a year.
there's 3 more of this shit. But I feel like I don't know, I was also younger too, but I feel like it was, a lot less happened in such a short amount of time, like with the internet and just the way global politics is just bam, bam, bam. Every time
Mhm.
you open your phone, there's something new happening. That's insane. It's like we're in a fucking movie at this point,
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I remember it
crazy.
used to be like, "Oh, that sounds like comedy," and you realize, "Oh, that's
That actually
real? That's
happened.
happening?
Yeah.
Okay. What
Yeah.
now?"
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're trying to address not just the term links, but we're actually creating term limits too, which right now there's no term limits.
That
I
is
could
yeah.
I could serve as mayor until I die, for like,
Mhm.
and that's crazy,
Yeah.
right? You don't want complete constant turnover, but you also don't want stagnation. So
Right.
we're looking at adding language to have term limits. So what you're giving up in having that control of being able to elect somebody new every 2 years, you're adding control over how long somebody can serve. And I
Right.
think it's a good trade off. I think expand the term length so people can do the job and do a better job, but make it where they can't serve
Yeah,
forever.
don't give them too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you see that in Congress sometimes, where people are just in there for 40 years
Hmm.
and It's like, how are you worth $30 million when this is $100-something thousand? That's when shit
Exactly.
gets.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying that's a direct cause of that, but it's like, bro, like your values and stuff from 4 years ago are different than what is happening today. Like you
Well,
gotta.
if you serve that long, do you even understand what it's like to be a normal person? You
No,
know?
that's what my thing too is. Like you see some of these people, I won't name anything, but you don't even have to. It's just like, bro, you've been here for 40 years. And it's like you've become just a robot in your own paperwork,
Just doing the motions.
just doing your shit,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah,
it's
not that we have that problem here in Corvallis, but we're trying to think of the future, and if you want change at a higher level like Congress, you got to start here at home.
yeah, I agree with that. And I never really put much thought into it until I started hanging out with you, and you really like you explained it so plainly, where it's like, yeah, it scales up, and if you can help your local politics, that'll go up to the county, then the county to the state, then the
Hmm.
state to the feds, and yeah,
That's the idea.
yeah, no,
It's a ripple, right? You make a little
yeah.
splash and then ripples out.
Yeah. Well, so this charter, so I have a copy of it here. I just wanted to talk about nothing specific, but it's just kind of talking about what we worked on, and you can kind of see, like, I don't know if you guys can you probably can't see this or whatever,
I
but it's
can't see it.
basically showing like the different sections and how much was cut out, not because whether it was just outdated or unconstitutional, but it really kind of shows the well, also shout out to the city attorney. He put in a lot of
Yeah,
of work on
yeah,
this,
he was on it.
But it it's just amazing to see like how that's another thing is how old we got to modernize some of that shit.
Yeah,
Whether
we
it's the
don't want to we don't want
charter
to live in
or
the past.
whatever. And when you just like when I looked at this, like even when I read it, I'm just like, wow, like yeah, none of this makes sense or it's contradicting. And or it's over explanatory for no reason.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't.
Well,
I just
I
want.
think we did a good job breaking it down to the four measures that we have now. I mean, the first one, if it was just we had that similar language, remember, it was like we realized our language says the same thing as the League of Oregon Cities model charter,
Right.
but just a little different.
Yeah.
So we just cleaned it up. Let's just make it match.
Right. And then there was what was that, like 23F?
Yes,
What so that one like
that was the basis of the lawsuit.
right. So do you want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so the language of 23F, I don't remember the exact wording. You probably have it right there.
I'll
And it
find it.
basically said, if you interfere with the management of the city through coercion or
That's
otherwise,
right. Yeah.
that you are removed, basically removed from council.
Right. It's like you can't accept
And I know what its intention was, and that was, you don't want you threatening or using some leverage against the city manager to get your way when it comes to hiring your cousin or something. Um,
right.
and we never actually even addressed whether or not that a violation occurred because the counselor who was potentially violated that section of charter sued the city.
But when I read it, I was like, I could kind of understand the issue here because it sounds like
It's that word otherwise.
right.
That was really the key thing, like by coercion or otherwise, which means speaking.
It's, yeah.
So you're allowed to speak.
Like if you and I hang out in the bar or something, and we're talking like, hey,
Something should happen about
you
this.
should wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Right.
Yeah.
So the new language that was our city attorney actually helped work on with the League of Oregon Cities
here it is.
addresses that issue, and it's much clearer on what the intention is.
Yeah, it's like interference in administration and elections. Neither the mayor nor any member of the council shall in any manner, directly or indirectly, by suggestion or otherwise,
That was the problem.
attempt to influence or coerce the manager in making of any appointment or removal of any officer or employee, or in the purchase of supplies, or attempt to exact any promise relative to any appointment for any candidate for manager, or discuss directly or indirectly with the manager the matter of specific appointments to any city or employment. It's like I kind of understood what they were trying to say, but it is pretty confusing.
Yeah, the new language is in order to protect the fundamental form of government chosen by the voters, guard the power of the council as a body, defend against corruption, ensure transparency. It goes on. It is saying basically, see, and preserve the separation of authority set forth in the charter between the manager's administrative authority and the council's general powers. No council member shall actually coerce or attempt to coerce the manager or a candidate for the office of manager in the appointment or removal of any city employee or an administrative decision regarding city property or contracts. A violation of this prohibition is grounds for removal. So it just removes some of that problem language around
That sounds so much more
suggestion.
straightforward, though.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Like
I mean,
this one is
it's
like,
still legal.
well,
It's still legal talk, which doesn't sound straightforward all the time. But
right,
it's
yeah.
clear about it's not just a suggestion to be removed because of a suggestion.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. Yeah, as one thing, like looking at the charter and like actually understanding what it was, I'm like, damn, this is a lot of it's a lot of stuff to go over, especially during those meetings. It's like you have to break down each of these sections and just piece by piece. And I just never looked at it that way.
Yeah, and I know one of the sections that we changed that's going to the voters that I've heard pushback from is the removal of the requirement for signatures for ballot measures to get something on the ballot.
Mhm.
It doesn't need to be in our charter. It's already in municipal code and it's already in state law.
Right.
So it's again, there's that section of removing redundancies. Like, why do we have language in there that's already in 2 other places?
Or it's out of the power of the city too, sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yes.
But the city requires less signatures than the state requires. And we're not changing that. We have no intention of changing that.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense of being in our charter. It's not where something like that normally belongs.
Gotcha.
That'd be like having it in the Constitution. That's what the charter is. It's our Constitution.
It's our city constitution, yeah. Well, what else? Like besides the charter review? Oh, actually, no. Pause on that. It's done, right? It's going to ballot, or
It's 4 ballot measures. They're going to be on the main primary ballot. So
when is that?
May 19th.
May 19th. Okay.
And I think the voters pamphlet guides are already ready online. If you go to the county's website, you can read them. And I think they should be getting mailed out soon because they get mailed out early to read. And then the ballots get sent out the end of April. I don't remember the exact date.
Yeah, and I would highly encourage any of you guys watching, or if you live in Corvallis, pass that shit. Please. Seriously, like,
yes, all 4.
I mean, obviously, I don't know near as much as you, but it definitely it made sense to me. Everything that we changed, it's like I don't see
why. That's why you were perfect on it, right? Because you could read it and be like, "Oh, that makes sense."
Yeah, just as a citizen, it's like, okay, yeah, why is that there? Like, I didn't know about this, but also, yeah, like, no, I would say I don't see a reason to say no to it.
Yeah, that's why I found it funny when we started hearing a little bit of opposition, and it's very little. I'm like, really? On these changes?
What do they say? Like,
they just think that we're trying to make it harder to do ballot initiatives. It's like, nope, not our goal, not our goal at all. It's already set our municipal code, and that would require a vote of the council. It'd be a public process, and we're not looking to change that at all. We like the process. We like people to be able to, I mean, we just saw a ballot initiative, right? That people were collecting signatures to remove the members of the school board. They have their right to do that. I disagreed with it, but they have their right to do that, and we have no intention of changing that right of people to collect signatures to do something.
Right.
And it failed, but
yeah,
they tried.
I do remember that ballot measure. I can't remember what I said on it, but yeah. But aside from the charter, what else has been? What else?
Downtown.
What's up?
So I was the former city councilor for the downtown area, and I've always, it's always held a special place for me. It's the heart of the city, right?
It is, yeah. You think Corvallis, you think of downtown.
Yeah, but downtown's been struggling. People have seen it, just empty businesses.
There is a lot,
and so I put forth the council to start a downtown task force, and they approved it. It's called the Downtown Vitality Strategy Task Force, and it's the largest task force I've ever heard of that I put together. 40 plus people on it.
Oh, whoa.
Which you would say is bad, but it's 40 people, but they broke it up into categories. So you have like infrastructure and safety. You have all these different things. I can't remember all the different sections. It's been a while. So there's multiple task forces within the main task force. And so they're working on all these different issues to provide recommendations to the city council of what can we do to address downtown. And the fact we got so many people from so many varying things to serve on the task force shows that my feelings about downtown, they're not just mine. They're shared by the community at large. So a lot more excitement happening about downtown. We have developers, property owners like Lee Eckroth, who bought the old JCPenney building and remodeled the plaza. I don't know if you guys have checked that out yet.
Is that where Coastal is now? Or where was JCPenney? I didn't even know there was one.
Downtown where Starbucks used to be?
Yeah.
Oh, really? That was a JCPenney?
That was a JCPenney.
What?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, so Lee Eckroth bought it and reimagined the space, and now it's a third space. It's where people can come and gather. And
I like that spot. Yeah,
it's really
cool. I always forget about it until I walk in there and I'm like, oh my god, like this is all here. And it's got Taco Cell machine in there. You got that acai bowl plates. Yeah, it's It's nice in
I
there.
think there's a waffle place
Yeah,
downstairs.
they have like an art thing
Yeah,
downstairs. It's really nice. It's
Both of the
they
buildings that they have, the one on Madison
yeah,
Square
what they do
and
on
that
Madison.
building, what they're doing to those is really cool.
Yeah, and especially just minor things like they redid some of the outside lighting.
Mhm.
It changes the feeling downtown at night when things are lit up and they're colorful because he uses a lot of LED lights and you can change the color for holidays and stuff. It's really
Nice.
neat.
Yeah.
And that's just one person. One person doing amazing stuff downtown. We have OB Industries who's building the Gordon Hotel and apartments right there on First Street. That's huge.
Is
First
that where
Ave.
that big ass crane is? That's doing
Yeah.
okay. I wondered what that was
Yeah,
about.
that's half hotel. It's like a boutique hotel and half apartments. So people are going to
Oh,
live downtown, and he's investing money into our town,
that's got to be
and
nice.
it's
Yeah,
wonderful. Not everybody's happy about it because some people just don't like development, but
right.
it's going
But
to be
that
good for
area was
downtown.
like all empty for a
Yeah,
while
the old
anyway,
flat
so
temporary.
there wasn't really much going on right there. They had like a fake wall, like they made it look like a fake building at one
Mhm.
point or
Oh
something.
yeah,
Like
it's kind of hollowed out. But
it
the
was,
one thing OB
yeah,
did when he tore down that old building is it took forever to tear down because he was reclaiming the materials to
yeah,
reuse them. So
yeah.
it's like preserving history, so to speak, interesting
Well,
way.
there's a lot of steel right there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of steel, a lot of old wood and tiles and old brick, and he saved a lot of that stuff
That's
to
pretty
reuse
cool.
in the new building.
Yeah.
So when that's done, that's people living downtown, and they applied for. We have what was created a couple years ago called the MUPD, multi-use property tax exemption, and so in our mixed-use zones, which downtown's a mixed-use zone, people, if you're building housing along with business, can apply for this tax exemption for 10 years. And with that one, that was the perfect example of what we wanted because he gets a tax exemption on the apartment side,
Mhm.
but the hotel side's still paying taxes. So we're gonna get money, and then we're gonna get more money later. So it's just investing into
Oh,
our city,
no
and that's
shit.
wonderful.
That is cool.
Yeah, plus more people shopping downtown, living downtown, maybe
It's
not taking a
buzzing
car.
down there,
Oh
man.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
been
really
awesome.
like it's always kind of been popping down there, but like even like that the old what's that called? The JC Penney
Yeah,
thing? What's that?
Plaza.
the
The
plaza.
plaza.
Mhm.
Like I remember that was like empty for a while. You had Starbucks, but then you walked in there and
It
it
was
wasn't
kind of
really
a couple small
there was like
businesses.
paper on the windows, like it was kind of not look but now it just
Yeah, in
changed.
2020, that's where we had our Bernie Sanders office.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
for my activist group, we had an office there.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's and you have like these some new businesses moving in. Like you have,
Mhm.
Guardian Games right there. Then you have the jujitsu school, and then it's different
Yeah,
now.
it's starting to change. It's starting to move the direction we really want. And
Right.
then now, and not everybody's happy about this.
Mm.
There's an application that's been approved where Taco Zone Machine used to be, right
Yeah.
next to the old beat up car wash. That area just looked really horrible for a while.
Yeah.
They're going to be building a 14-story tall apartment complex there
Whoa.
with businesses on the ground floor.
Whoa. That's
And
gonna be
I'm excited and also terrified of it because I can't picture a building that tall in
that's
Corvallis.
yeah.
I think the highest building we have is 7 stories, and this is going to be double that.
Whoa.
So,
Yeah.
but the state removed all height requirements, so we can't stop it from happening.
When did they do that?
A few years back,
Huh.
yeah, the state removed a lot of the requirements around parking. There's no more parking requirements. There's no more height restrictions. Like
Oh.
there's a lot of things that they took control away from cities on. So even if you don't like it, there's still. I'm hoping one, it won't be as drastic feeling as it sounds, but two, it's more people living downtown. That's more people shopping at our local shops. That's just money coming into our community. People that maybe want to live here will get rid of their car because you don't really need one. If
You
you're
don't need
if you're
one.
not traveling outside of Corvallis, you don't need a car.
Right. At most a bike. And Corvallis is very
Very
bicycle
friendly.
friendly,
Gold rating.
Yeah, well, I like what you guys did with what the city did with going down, what is it, Van Buren or whatever, where you guys had like a whole separate like bike lane now.
Oh,
Like, I mean, there's always
Harrison.
been bike lanes, but now there's like a full where they spray painted it green,
Yeah, on
coming across the
Harrison,
bridge on
Yeah,
Harrison, right?
Harrison, you got to by the bridge and then over crossing 9th Street, which was always a dangerous crossing.
That is pretty
And
sketchy.
now it's the safer.
Yeah.
And we're looking at doing the same thing on Monroe. We've been working with OSU on a Monroe corridor over by campus, and that whole area is now planned. It's not scheduled to do because you need money, but we have a area plan for that to redo that whole area with a safe bike path, with a multi-use path, wider sidewalks for pedestrians. And we just had a presentation on that. And I love the concept. So
I remember last episode you were talking about how much of an issue Monroe or just like how it just didn't make sense, just the layout of the street, and so that's cool.
Harrison's the worst because it zigzags.
Right. Yeah, it like goes across and yeah. And also the bridge is done too.
The bridge is done. There's actually it's not in stone, but I was invited by ODOT to go to the ribbon cutting of the grand opening of the bridge, which will be happening in a couple of months. So watch for that.
Oh, okay. Well, so that's cool. Are they gonna do the other one, the Harrison Bridge?
No, that one's
That's
considered
good, right?
relatively seismically stable.
Yeah, because it seemed like it was more modern than the old Van Buren
Yeah,
Bridge.
it doesn't meet today's standards, but it's not in danger of falling apart like the old bridge was.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I drive on it and I feel okay. You know, if I fall, there's water underneath me.
Not a lot. You would die.
I don't. I'm just being stupid. No, that's great. A 14-story building right there.
It's
And
pretty wild,
honestly, I'm glad to see something being done with that area. Yeah, 'cause the old car, it just, yeah, it kind of looks a little weird right there. Um, so Tacos El Machine is all the way out of that building now.
Yep, they're over at the plaza.
They're in the plaza, so that building's just empty. Then
And my understanding, they're doing better business in the plaza than they were in their old location,
I
which is
c-
great for them.
Yeah, but they don't do drinks anymore, though, right?
No.
Yeah, that sucks. I love their margaritas. They're so good.
I've never had one of their margaritas.
They were pretty good. Yeah. Damn. So lots of development, man. Like I feel like I can just see it now. Like in the next few years, Corvallis is going to be just totally like different in a good way.
Well, that's the next part of the development problem Corvallis is projected to grow by 2030 to 74,000 people.
And we're at like what 55,
We're at
60, something like that.
between
Okay.
60, 61,000. So we're gonna grow by more than 10,000 people in the next 4 years. That's the projected numbers.
Right.
So with that growth and with that people, we need to be able to provide better services.
Hmm.
And right now we have our water treatment plant's going to need upgraded. Our wastewater treatment plant's going to need upgraded to handle that. And we've been trying to address for the last 4 or 5 years now, our city facilities that we've ignored. So we've remodeled a couple of our fire stations to
Right.
meet modern standards, because back when they were built, there weren't women serving as firefighters.
Hmm.
So now we have separate dorms for
Accommodated
everybody,
that.
and it's better for everybody. And for our equipment. Our equipment was being stored outside, and it's just we were spending so much money maintaining equipment because of leaving it out in the
On the
weather.
elements.
So
shit,
now
yeah.
we've expanded to have inside storage. We're getting ready to start. They've already cut down the trees and are ready to do it for building a new parks maintenance facility. Again, most of our equipment stored
Parks
outside
maintenance, like
for our city parks, our parks
Oh,
department.
okay.
So they're building a brand new parks maintenance facility, because right now it's in Avery Park, but it's down in the floodplain right next to the river. So they're
Yeah.
going to move it up to higher ground and rebuild it, and then restore the natural element of where the current location is.
Really?
Yeah, so
That's
that's
cool.
happening right now. And the next step we're supposed to do is deal with our civic campus, our city hall, and our police station. So we worked out a plan. It's a couple of years ago, and now we're trying to move forward with actually making it happen, to build a brand new purpose-built city hall and police station. And the reason why this is important, one, we're out of space, because as you have more population, you have to hire more staff, and there's nowhere to put them.
Right.
We're out of room at City
Yeah,
Hall.
the cop shop is pretty tight where it is, like
Well, and that's
space
so
wise.
impressive too. Where the law enforcement building, it looks like a bunker.
It looks pretty.
terrible.
I was like, I don't want to go there, dude.
Yeah, so we want to build a friendly, open space police station right on Madison, and have and it'll be where the current city hall is, and build a brand new city hall on the south side of Madison,
Really?
and with like a plaza in the middle. We could do community events there. You know,
That's a
really has
big
some
move,
plans.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge move.
Plus, the current city hall it's a energy suck. It's drafty. It's old. It was originally a church, I think.
I remember you were
it
talking
wasn't
about
purpose built for a city,
Mhm.
but yet we've been using it since the 70s.
Right.
But our energy use is off the charts. I actually have a slideshow I can send you if you want to put clips, something in your thing.
Maybe.
It's bad. So
Yeah.
we want to move forward with that, but some people are criticizing the cost because it'll be over $200 million. But we haven't even identified how to pay for it. Right now, we're trying to move forward. What do we want?
What do you
should
want?
we do?
Right.
And we need to build this, because after we build new city hall, we'll have actually a place to have our council meetings in city hall. Because right now our council meetings are at the fire station downtown.
Yeah, or we went to with the Madison meeting room or
Yeah.
whatever at the municipal court.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like kind of an old just office space, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So we want purpose built facilities that'll last for the next 50, 60 years.
Right.
And that's what our goal is. And then with the police station right now, the building they're in where our 911 center is would be destroyed in an earthquake. It is not seismically resilient, maybe survivable, but then we lose all our control for 911 in an emergency.
Right.
So if we build a new police station where 911 could be, it'll be level 4 seismic resiliency, which means they'll leave the building like you would in any earthquake, but they'll be able to go right back in and get back to work.
No
and
shit.
provide services.
That's good. I mean, I can
Yeah.
agree with that, man. Like, I mean, we never know when the big one is coming, you know?
It's
Or
overdue, is my understanding.
right. Well, I mean, there's been a couple earthquakes detected off the coast here the
Mhm.
past couple months, you know, like they're small, but I mean, they're there,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Everything I read says it could be anytime,
Could be tomorrow, could be in 20 years.
Yep.
You never know.
but we should plan ahead.
Yeah,
We gotta
no, you
plan for the
should.
future.
And like, you know, like the bridge, for instance, like that is something
That's
like
seismically
if that
resilient.
collapsed in an earthquake, like how are you gonna get like
You're trapped.
you're kind of trapped, you
Yeah.
know? It would be a sticky
Yeah,
situation.
the new Van Buren Bridge is the only seismically stable bridge anywhere along the Willamette for like until you get to Portland.
Wow,
Yeah, so you're stuck on the west side.
that's crazy.
And so if something crazy happened where you had to escape east and the bridge is gone, what are you going to do?
Right.
So
Yeah.
now that bridge is seismically stable. It will survive an earthquake.
Right. Didn't they do like they took some of the old cogs in it or whatever and put them on display underneath it or something like
Not
that?
yet.
Not
So
yet.
they say,
As I know you fought for that. I really like that
yeah,
you did that.
and they're still holding on to it. They have the main gear mechanism, which is basically a big metal box.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was to build some sort of display in the park right there
Mm-hmm.
to display it. But I'm actually against the whole gear because it's just going to get tagged. It's as tall as a you know,
It's a
like,
big
it's
one.
like 6 feet tall by like a car length wide, and it's all black metal.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's going to spray paint that.
Yeah.
So what I want is just a couple of the gears inside because it was the old bridge was unique. It was turned by hand. So there was this big wooden metal key that you stuck in and literally turned it with a couple of people, and it
Right.
turned the entire bridge. So I want to save that. Maybe have some like a plaque with some pictures of the old bridge, some
Mhm.
history about it, and that key on display where people can see the physical.
You guys still have the
thing.
key?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the original key still exists. We have the mechanism. We have all the parts.
That's cool.
So we're still working with ODOT because ODOT's willing to fund a certain amount to do it. But there's disagreement on the council of what size, what form, where
Yeah.
along the park.
I can imagine that's not everyone's about that.
No.
You know? Yeah.
So some people want all of it. They wanted to keep and we even have some of the trestles from the old bridge.
Right.
And they
Yeah.
wanted to have like basically the whole bridge on land. And unfortunately, that changes the use of a park. So like you
Yeah.
think the Riverfront Park right now, people go there and they play ball and do whatever and picnic. If you put that there, you can't do that. Those activities anymore.
Yeah.
So that creates a change in use for a park, which is a bigger process.
Mhm.
So that's why I like the idea of a smaller display. That's really what was really unique. The trestles are cool, but what was unique was that turning mechanism, that key, that what's the word I'm looking for?
Just the-
Engineering
Right. Yeah.
design. It's like,
Right.
that's what was cool.
I also feel like that in itself is enough to speak about what that bridge did. You know, like and yeah, like you said, a couple pictures. Like the fact that they even did that to be like, why did they do that? Make the bridge move like that?
There used to be ships that used to come down the river. They used
huh.
they used to dredge it all the time, and there used to be a paddle ship that you come all the way down the river and dock at Corvallis, and you would take it to Salem.
No
and
shit.
there used to be there's still laws actually where the Coast Guard needs to be able to have access down the river.
Oh.
Nowadays, I laugh. I'm like, good luck. 'Cause I know that river. I canoe it, and there's parts where you just get out and stand in the middle.
Well,
So-
I mean, like you look down on the bridge, you can see tree branches
Yeah.
sticking out of the water. Like there's big ass trees, whole trees in that river,
Yep.
dude. You know,
I've
like
hit one on my canoe before. I know.
yeah. Oh, I mean, we've gone floating, and yeah, you kick them sometimes, and it's kind of scary, you know, a little bit because you don't want to get
Well, it's dangerous.
Yeah, because you don't
can
want to
get
get caught in that shit. You
Right.
know, yeah, you'll be
Just keep your feet out of the water. when you're
right.
floating.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the old mechanism was designed because it used to be a travel lane for ships.
I never knew that. That's cool. Damn, that's awesome.
So it was able to turn to allow larger ships through, which is
Yeah.
really neat and part of history.
Yeah, well, I support that. I support that. You know, keeping at least, yeah, you don't need the whole entire bridge, but just something to kind of honor that is pretty cool.
Well, originally when they were wanting to replace it, I fought because I wanted to keep the bridge.
They wanted to throw it all away,
Yeah,
right?
well, I want to use it as a pedestrian bridge, move it over to the Marys and connect where the BMX track is with Schwaller Point. Then I saw the cost, and I was like, well, we can't afford that. It
Yeah.
was just like $10 to $12 million just to move it,
Oh, wow.
not counting the studies you have to do. You have to do river studies and environmental impact studies,
Erosion
and then the
yeah.
maintenance alone, the city would not be able to afford.
Yeah.
So that went
Yeah,
away.
You can only do so much, right?
Man,
Man,
you have
yeah.
ideas, and then you find out, oh, we can't afford to do that.
Yeah. Well, how about like so you're talking about like the federal budget cuts. Like, you know, how is like Corvallis like not received it, but I mean, obviously you guys don't have as much money, but what are some side effects other than development and whatnot that you guys have been experiencing from that?
It's mostly around potential. We had delays. We get home funds, which are administered by HUD to build housing. And we also get CDBG funds, which is Community Development Block Grant funds, which goes to support programs, goes to support like smaller projects. And the funding got seriously delayed by the federal government. We did finally start getting it, but it was delayed. So that raised the question, well, can we even promise people this money? We have an application process for those funds. But luckily, it didn't have any major impacts on that. But then there's still potential. About 50% of our transportation budget is federal funding.
Mm.
So we haven't run into any issues with not receiving that yet, but it's kind of a constant threat. They keep sending information saying, "Oh, you got to do all these things if you want the money," and they're things that go against what Corvallis is. Like we can't have gender neutral bathrooms. You can't have any language that uses the gender neutral pronouns. You got to remove all that.
Right, that's weird.
And
That's weird that they would even say that.
Right, and
yeah,
because
like who cares?
And that's why you see the federal administration is being sued regularly because that has nothing to do with the funding. The requirements for funding should be how the money's used. Saying you can't do these things in your city buildings has nothing to do with the money for transportation.
Yeah, like, you can have this money, but here's how we want you to spend it. Basically, is what.
Well, it's not even about the spending. That's allowed, but they're saying we don't want you to even do these things over here that have nothing to do with the funding, or we're not going to give you the money.
Damn.
And it's against the law.
Yeah.
And that's why the federal administration is getting sued regularly.
All the time. I mean, yeah, it's like every other day you get on your phone, you see like more budget cuts, and it's just like, okay, so you're cutting all this shit, and then like we said earlier, the military budget has grown or is planned to grow $1 trillion potentially.
It keeps growing.
It still is growing.
Every new budget the federal administration creates, that gets passed by Congress, is more money to the military. More money to the military. We don't have a single enemy in the world.
Right.
Why do we have such a bloated, gross military budget?
It's pretty crazy. They're hiding UFOs, I think. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
On the next episode.
On next episode, yeah. Yeah, man. No, that's really sad. I just feel like it should be the feds are like, okay, here's your money. This is what you guys get. Do what you got to do. Don't waste it, obviously.
And I get there's tracking, and there is reporting we have to do to make sure we're spending it on what the money's intended for.
Right.
That's totally cool.
That's fine.
That's how it's always been. Not an issue.
Right.
We're obviously not going to take the money and go party with.
Buy everyone a Mercedes. Whatever. Yeah.
That's my Ferrari.
Yeah.
But to have things tied to it that have nothing to do with the funding, it's just it's unethical.
That just seems like it's like, bro, like, yeah, no, it just doesn't.
So I worry about our transportation funding because if they ever decide to cut that and not give it to us, it's gonna have major impacts.
And so, I mean, I can think of a few, but in which ways?
Our buses,
the buses, right?
Gone.
Yeah.
Road improvements, street improvements, this bicycle safety we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
All that's part of the transportation funding.
Right.
So to lose that
that'd be pretty especially for the buses too would be catastrophic for Corvallis. There's a lot of people that rely on that shit. Yeah, and I mean, there's also the Benton, the Lynn Benton Loop that takes people to LBCC, which I think is funded by Corvallis, right?
It's joint funded.
Is it joint funded? But I mean, I can imagine, a lot of students need that to get to and from community college, and if you cut that, then they're fucked, And
then there's people who they live here because they don't need a car. Because if you want to go to the coast, we have a bus that takes you to the coast for like a couple of bucks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you could literally live here without a car, use our buses, get to work, get to your doctor's appointments, and still even go enjoy the coast without owning a car.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Check out that bus.
Check it out.
You can take a bike on the front of it as long as it's room, and
right.
All our buses have the bike racks on the front.
I like that they do that. That is
my bike
cool.
won't fit on those.
You have like the big wheel,
I have
right?
a big 4-inch fat tire.
Yeah,
that doesn't fit on those.
That's pretty rad,
but
dude.
That's what I get. I choose that. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, anything else?
Let's see. We covered charter amendments we're working on. We've got the downtown task force we're working on. We're working on addressing our city facility needs. That's been a constant, and I'm hoping we will have a decision soon to actually move forward, design and build. Right now, we haven't even got into design, just concepts. And even with that, I'm really looking forward to something that really represents Corvallis with mass timber, with stone, like who we really
I would
are.
like, yeah,
I'd
like
not
to see
big metal glass building, which is what the original drawing looked
Yeah,
like.
no.
And people got mad.
We don't
want
need that shit.
Like, that's not Corvallis.
Yeah, no, it's not.
We want warmth. We want real materials that you could touch and feel good about,
Hmm.
and open space for the community.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping we'll move forward with that this year, at least to get started. Because every month we wait, it's like $500,000.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because the cost of construction is just skyrocketing.
Yeah.
So we
Well,
got
I
to do it
mean,
now.
again, the cost of fuel, you got to
Mhm.
that wood has to be cut by someone, which requires gas,
Yep.
and yeah, there's that too. I know I asked you this last time, and you probably still don't have an answer, but where is the grocery store for Southtown? God damn it.
You know,
I know.
contact Safeway.
Yeah.
No, I would love one. I mean, I'm a resident of Southtown. I mean, I live
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the
across the
Safeway
road.
isn't that far. I'm just being stupid, but also
if I'm gonna personally complain, I can't stand that Safeway.
I don't
There's
like
no meat
it.
department, no actual bakery. It's like a mini Safeway.
Sometimes it's scary.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, but
And I feel like every time I go there's at least one thing I'm going shopping for that they won't have.
right.
Every time, it's like a curse. Whatever I'm going there for, they just won't have. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But it is our local Safeway. It's where I shop.
Yeah.
That's where I
I just went there this
prescriptions.
morning. Yeah.
I need to go there. I'm out of some stuff. But
Maybe they
I
don't have it.
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, the city has no control over how business gets developed. We can prime the pump, so to speak. All of 99 South is all multi-use building area now. We rezoned it, so there's an opportunity for housing and businesses. And I think the city would love to see a full-size functional grocery store further south,
Yeah.
especially in times like, say, if the river floods. South Corvallis is cut off from the rest of town. It's happened
Yeah.
before.
No, I've seen, I'm a huge weather nerd, and I've looked back at the history of the Willamette. Like, there's a few times earlier this year that there was risks of the river blowing out.
Mhm.
It would take a lot, obviously, but
But it's happened before, so it can happen again.
it could have. Yeah, I saw some of the old pictures, and it was like, it blew out, all into the streets and shit. Yeah, it's not impossible.
Right.
Like, sometimes, like, and even me, like, I'll look at the Willamette and be like, oh, those banks are so high. There's no way. Oh, yeah, it will. I mean, it happened a few years ago. Remember
Yeah.
that dude with the boat on the fucking golf course, dude? Like, there's, yeah. you
Yeah,
never-
I mean, it was a few years ago. The right there on Highway 34 was flooded. You couldn't get through there, and the bypass was flooded. The Marys didn't overfill, so we didn't get cut off in downtown. But it was there in history. It's happened where the Marys fills up and overflows. And
Yeah.
it floods part of Avery Park, so you can't go that way. It
Mhm.
floods the bridge crossing into downtown, so you're Southtown. It becomes an island. You're stuck,
Yeah.
and there's nowhere to go. Drive all the way down to Monroe?
Mhm.
To
Yeah.
Junction City, I should say.
And then cross over.
And even
Yeah.
then, what if that area's flooded?
Right.
They've got the Long Tom River right there. It's the joy and the curse of living here in Oregon. We're surrounded by rivers.
Yeah. And it
love
rains
our
all the
rivers.
time.
It
Yeah.
does not rain all the time.
You got a lot on your plate, man.
Yeah, but the city's looking. I mean, even though we have that $8.1 million budget deficit coming up, we're trying to address now early before it's actually a problem. We're still doing better than a lot of other communities. Other communities are having to cut services. We have not cut one service yet,
yeah.
and we don't want to. So we're looking at solutions, and sometimes that's raising your city services bill fee. I'm sure you've noticed.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And I pay that same bill, so
Right.
I feel you. But it's necessary if we don't, unless we want to start cutting services.
No, I'm okay with it. I what I like about the city services bill is it kind of makes me feel like, everyone always talks about like, man, I wish I could decide where my taxes go for and I feel like the city services bill in a way is kind of, you can kind of do that. I mean, you can't pick and choose on it, but it's like, oh, I know that when I pay this, it's not just for water and sewage. I know my money's going to the parks, to
Yeah.
the buses, to these things that matter to me.
To social services
Social services,
we're
the
part of
police,
that
the
fund.
ambulance and shit,
Exactly.
and it's like,
and those buses.
yeah, like I'm down with that,
Yeah.
and so like,
Yeah, as much as I will, depending on the time of month, whether I've already spent my money because my bills are high or I had to buy groceries or gas. Yeah, I'll gripe about the city services bill, but then I remind myself, oh yeah, I supported increasing that fee, and I know it's going to. So,
you're like, I did that.
actually, I didn't because
No.
I don't get a vote as a mayor. But,
Yeah, no, man. No, well, yeah. I mean, starting off this episode, like I said, you see it Corvallis growing just every day. There's new construction. And, it feels cleaner. You see these new businesses. It's just I feel like it's definitely on the up and up.
Well, and lately, have you gone downtown on a Friday or Saturday night lately? People are
Well,
everywhere.
we were just there at Treebeards when I drove by you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were going to Treebeards, and yeah, it's just popping, dude. Yeah, I mean,
and I love it.
yeah, I love it, dude.
Got
It's
a new
really
tap house that just opened up on 2nd Street.
yeah, it's Beavertail
Or
it's
Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail. That's what it
they opened
was.
up a
Yeah,
tap
my
house.
buddy
That's cool.
or my manager's friend, that's his brewery, and he's like, you got to go down there and check it out. And
Yeah,
I haven't
was,
been.
I was
yet.
there for the grand opening. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, how many taps do they have in there?
I didn't count. I don't know. It's all their beers. Though.
Everything
They make and specialty ones as well.
Fuck yeah.
Made by Oregon Trail Brewery.
Yeah.
They got the ginseng porter.
Maybe we
Ginseng
should go there after.
One of the best browns I've ever had too.
Yeah.
Just really quick, I want to give a couple shout outs. Anthony Big Cat 420, what's up, dog? Thank you for following. Holly Shutta, thank you for following. That's how you Shate. Thank you for following. Leland, you're the man. Dr. Sensi Sam, thank you for following us. Crystal 38008. Joseph Manning 713, Badalina 2, Eve Raymundo. What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? Thank you for following us.
So where else can people listen to this podcast besides YouTube?
It's only on YouTube. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I just was waiting to get a good catalog, but I'm planning to get it on Spotify soon. It's just you got to pay a subscription and you have to transfer everything, and it's kind of a pain. I've just been kind of lazy about it, but I plan on getting it on Spotify and
I
iTunes.
use YouTube, so it's not a problem for me.
Yeah. But yeah, right now we're only on YouTube. Sorry. But the plan is I'll announce it when other people or when it's available elsewhere. Yeah, and also to the listeners, sorry you missed the past few weeks, past few episodes. This last week I was sick as hell. The other one I just kind of took a break, just needed a little breather, but we're back. We're here. And thank you guys for sticking through with us. Appreciate every last one of you that watch and listens to the show. And also thank you, Charles, for taking the time out of your day to come here and also come on again. So sometimes we post episodes that get a little crazy, and I was like, man, I don't know if he'll come back. But no, we try to keep it real, man. And we really, we have fun. Sometimes we get crazy. Like the St. Patty's episode was wild, but we try to be community focused. At least the people around us, and you're a big one of those figures for me. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
I appreciate being invited.
Yeah. No, and I'll keep inviting you.
Maybe after the last one, is he even gonna want me back?
No, dude, you did great. The last one was good. And honestly, like for me, it was like at that time I was still getting used to doing this. Now I feel pretty comfortable. Then like you were one of the first guests where I was really nervous for, where I was like, I don't want to fuck this up, but I know you. You're a nice guy, and you mean very well. Whether you guys politically support him or not, Charles is a good dude.
I'm just a normal guy.
Yeah, no, and that's what I think makes you so awesome. Just not even as a mayor, but just as a person. You're genuine. You mean well. You're not full of shit. And if there's something that people question you on, you have a solid answer for it.
And if I don't know the answer, I won't make it up.
You won't pull it out of your ass.
Let me find out.
Well, let me. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no. Do you have anything you want to add, Maddie?
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
You're a joy to be. You're your joy to have on.
No, that's pretty cool. Anything else you would like to add before we get out of here?
Just hope everybody takes the time, learn what your city's doing. The city website has all sorts of information. You can watch all our meetings are online, and you can attend online too if you want to give community comments. We allow 3 minutes per person for community comments at our council meeting. And get involved, stay involved, and it's campaign season, so find out what you support and go help somebody run for office.
Right. Even if you don't live in Corvallis, I think you can vote for a president. It doesn't matter. But I think, like Charles said, the real change starts at home, and the people around you in your community are going to directly have an influence on your life for the most part. Like, that's what really matters.
Yep,
so
day to day, your drinking water, your trash, you name it.
Everything.
It's all affected locally.
Exactly. And I think that's really, that's why I like having you on, is just to emphasize that for people. I guess you already said the website. I think we're good there. Vote. Get out there. Do something. Make a difference in your community.
Absolutely.
I think we're out of here. We're at an hour. I think we're good. Thanks again, dude. Also, thank you for inviting me to be part of that task force. That was so out of my element, but I tried my best, man. And you know, it was a great experience for me. And if you have any other spots you want me in, hit me up. I'll probably do it.
All right.
I don't know a lot, but I'll be there.
There's always opportunities.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, we outie. We'll see you guys next time on that Hella Dank podcast. Thank you for watching. Have a great week.